Good morning, this is Jack from the AskChart.net, and this is the pre-market video for Wednesday, the 27th of December. Our disclaimer, we do this for educational purposes only. We're here to share our technical analysis with you. We hope you can take some of what we're doing and learn from it and transfer it to your own charts. We're not here to issue trading signals. Right, first quick announcement. Obviously, we've got a couple of free webinars this week. The way you get to these, because not everyone knows, it seems, is you go to the front page, you click on blog, and on blog you find the latest free webinars, monthly free webinars page, which is January free webinars. All right, go into those and you will find the free webinars for the month. Now, obviously, this includes the last ones for this month. We've got two big webinars this week, which are the free chart chat tonight and tomorrow, an hour after the close, and tonight's is looking at the 2018 outlook for indexes, currencies and bonds, and tomorrow's is looking at the 2018 outlook for metals, energies and other commodities. We do these every year. We'll be having a quick look at how we did last year. Obviously, the further you go out, the tougher it gets for forecasting, but it's always an interesting exercise, and we get a lot of stuff right. So we shall see. All right, great. In that case, let's flip straight over to the markets. Let's have a look. And we're going to have, I know it's been pretty boring the last few days, but we're going to have an interesting day. And the reason we're going to have an interesting day, I think, is because after days of chopping around vaguely, we finally got form clearly established on the equity indices, and this is a triangle. It's a bull flag planet in this particular context. I know it hasn't formed within the sort of like 2 or 3 days that the textbooks say, but the textbooks are wrong. This is a bull flag planet, and so is the one on TF. TF obviously has an open double bottom target above anyway. We are in the flag, it's nice. In the flag triangle, this is nice, it's good, and chances are it's going to break up today with a minimum target at a retest of the all-time high. On NQ, we don't have a triangle, we've got a bull flag channel. Again, likely to break up, held beautifully overnight. These all-time high retests are late. We were expecting them Thursday, Friday last week, really, but they are likely to be coming. These are three effective bull flag setups on the three indices, and they are likely to deliver. Chances are they'll break out today. If not, they'll break out tomorrow. All right, DX. DX is at a moment of truth here. We've now got down to the obvious wedge resistance I was talking about a couple of days ago, sort of wedge support rather, and it's either going to turn here or it's not. If it's not, then we could be done with this rally and go straight down. If it does, then we can. We've got wedge resistance in the 93 area, and we can do a full retracement of this back up to near the 94 area. We haven't got an overall channel here, or at least we haven't got this channel here. We might have another channel coming from here, possibly. We'll see. We'll see where this lands and see what that gives us. But this is a nice falling wedge. We are at wedge support. This is the moment of truth on DX, so we shall see. CL, nice impulse up yesterday. It's been consolidating. This is a likely bull flag setup. Note the second high is a lower high, no divergence on RSI. This is a reset. We should be going to at least retest this high and should go higher. I've got two resistance trend lines here. One of them is in the 60-30 area, and the other one is in the 61-30 area. And I'm expecting to get to the higher one. I think this is a rising wedge which has broken up, and that's got a target in the 61.25 area. That is very much the obvious target here, and if we reach that quickly, we're likely to find resistance in that area or slightly above it, because that is where my bigger picture trend line is that I was talking about when we were last testing the 59 area, and I was saying it was unlikely to go higher because this trend line was in the way. We are going for that same trend line. It is now in the 61.25 area. NG. NG has come back. I was talking last night about the back test of broken channel resistance and said it might go down, retest the low, but it was more likely to turn around. It has turned around. Now we need to do the main job here, which is to play out this double bottom. That's a breaking conversion of 2.8 looks for targets bracketing the 3 area. I think soon might be looking a little lower here, but I think that's going to be a pretty clear double bottom target. So I'll be looking for that area. So that needs to break and convert 2.8, and looks as though that may well happen today. But obviously, you never assume the double bottom is going to break up until it breaks up and converts that area. But I think I'm feeling pretty good about it. I like NG to the long side. I am long. GC has been a bit of a problem child. This, I think, is a rising wedge overthrowing. This is a 60-minute buy sell signal that is just fixed, and I think we're about to see a turn here. Could I be mistaken? Yes, absolutely I could. I think I don't really trust this move. It's gone up too high. If this extends higher, then this could well be going to the full retest target in the 1302 area. As it is here, we've broken over the RTH falling wedge resistance from the September high at 1363. And we are in a bottoming process. And if this bottom is going to be a double bottom, which it could well be, then we should be turning in the next 5 or 6 handles to deliver that near the 50% fib. If we get over that, then something else is happening here. Could this be an RHS forming at 1303? It would be a bit oversized, but yeah, it could. Yeah, it could, and that would be the alternate. So we're either going to turn here, do a decent retrace, probably have a moment of truth at 62, where do we decide whether or not we're going to go down and retest the low, or we go up to the obvious RHS neckline area, 1303, and we may well then just retrace to form a right shoulder. Ideal low would be in the 1275 area, and then and head upwards. We shall see. All right, ZB. ZB, the triangle on TNX is retracing. That means ZB is rallying, and I had a target for the double bottom at 152.04. We've made that target. I've drawn in a variety of possible trend lines. This is the reason for the smorgasbord is these are all possibles. On various different pattern combinations. We have a possible 60-minute sell signal brewing, or at least we had. A possible 60-minute sell signal brewing. Do we still have one? Nope, lost it. We've lost the negative divergence, so we don't have a sell signal brewing here. Chances are it's going to go a little higher, but this is the minimum target I was thinking it should reach. The minimum test of the monthly pivot, it could fail here. I'm leaning towards seeing it going a bit higher, but probably topping out below 153. HG, well, I was saying last night that the bears were getting their first sniff of hope, really, as we'd now formed a decent-looking rising megaphone, and we came down and tested megaphone support overnight, and we reversed there strongly. If we go and hit megaphone resistance, I've now got that in about the 3.34 area. So anyway, I've been saying almost every day, HG, once it gets a trend between its teeth, can be rather hard to turn around, and well, we've been saying that. So we've made the minimum bull flag target at a retest this high back here. So I haven't got any upside targets, but we have got a very nice megaphone which is confirmed overnight. And as far as I'm concerned, the bears don't really get a sniff unless we break this support or we hit this trend line. But the reality is, without a topping pattern here, HG is kind of a risky short. If we do see a decent retracement here, what I would like to do is buy the bottom of that for the next move up. That's an if. I wouldn't be keen on the counter trend short. KC, I'm wondering about a possible rising megaphone here. We had a nice little double top here. It broke down, didn't make target. I'm wondering whether this is an overall larger bear flag forming, looking for ultimately a retest of this low. I think it may well be. We shall see. We're coming up to what isn't really... This was IHS resistance, but the IHS has failed. This isn't really resistance for anything now. So not expecting it to hold. I've got trendline resistance up at about the 1.255 to 75 area, so we shall see. Right, SB. SB has retested this high. I was talking about the upward pressure. I was thinking it would come back and retest the weekly pivot. It hasn't done that, and we're up now testing the monthly pivot. If it breaks and converts that, then it might just be off to the races. Until then, we could see a decent retracement and consolidation here. We are on a 60-minute sell signal. However, it wouldn't be the first one to fail here. We've had some very strong trending moves, and these do tend to fail in a strong trending move. CC. CC, I was talking about this overall falling wedge here. These trend lines move every day. It's really annoying. That is annoying. Okay, anyway, we're still in the wedge. I've got wedge support currently at about the 1785 area, and we'll see how that goes, because I think the while CC doesn't break the wedge, that leaves wedge support as a possible, wedge resistance as a possible target, and wedge resistance is currently at about the 1950 area. We've seen a rally here. That rally could extend into a test of this trend line, and obviously very possibly a reversal back down there. I would be happier about the downtrend if we didn't have unfinished business above. ZW. ZW, I think, is on the way. It's broken below weekly pivot, converged-ish. The obvious target is this rising support trend line, currently in about the 419.5 area. And I'm expecting to see that hit, and obviously in the event that breaks, this is a pretty decent looking bear flag setup, so we might well at that stage see a retest of this low at 411. Alright, GBP USD. Sorry. GBP USD. We've got this triangle. We were expecting it to break down, and it's actually broken up. I've got declining resistance just over 1.345, and I think that's the obvious next target. Having said that, this triangle, this was a decent earlier wave triangle as well. You can see it on RSI. This is likely to spike up, as triangles do, back test, and go. So I think this triangle is breaking up, and I don't think it's not evolving into another obvious pattern here, so I'm expecting this to play out like triangles normally do. So let's see the back test. The back test should come back below 1.34. Anything over that is a bonus, but ideally it would come back and test the monthly pivot here, because there's double support and resistance at weekly pivot and monthly pivot, and then it should spike up, and we'll see where the thrust goes. As and when the thrust is finished, we'll probably see it retrace fully. So we'll see how that goes. Interesting looking long here at this back test. USD. We are at a moment of truth here, and it's the same with DX. Obviously, is testing downside resistance. Here, this is the test of the previous high that I was talking about yesterday. We've got it. This is obviously a potential double top. So DX may be turning back up here. USD may be turning back down here. Obviously, if this continues up and DX continues down, then something else is happening here. So we'll see. But I would note that in the event we continue up, this resistance trend line is getting pretty close to the retest of this high here. So, but I think this is an important moment of truth. If we are going to see any more upside in the dollar, we're going to see it here. All right, USD JPY. I said yesterday I was keeping an open mind on this. I'm still keeping an open mind on this. We're testing the weekly pivot. That's holding so far. There is an obvious target we haven't made yet at a retest of this high here, and we may well be reversing back up to do that. We don't have any current divergence, no strong lean. USD CAD. Here we have a very strong lean. In fact, I've been talking about this for weeks, and I'm hoping some of you are short this, because this has been a nice setup. I was talking about the unfinished business here, marginal new high. This would be forming a double top, and we're now back, and we're about to test double top support, which is at 1.2625. On a break-in conversion of this level, we should be looking at 1.2325, and Stan's looking at an overall target for this move in the 1.15 area, which is a long way down from anywhere you can see on this chart. And this is still an interesting looking short. Probably going to see a rally here, might get to 127. Interesting looking short when we get there. Right, Australian dollar. Australian dollar had a sell signal, was looking like it might reverse, and it's killed the sell signal, and it hasn't reversed. It's continued higher. Not seeing any particularly obvious reason for it to turn here. I am looking at this trend line here. I've got this at about the 0.78 area. We might see, or slightly under, we might see some resistance there. That is the obvious rising wedge resistance trend line if this is a rising wedge. All right, NZUSD. NZUSD has continued up with Australian dollar, and this has obviously messed up the very nice looking potential double top here. Again, I'm not seeing any particular reason for it to stop here. We don't have any negative divergence. I don't have any obvious good trendline options. I would expect this to go at least a bit higher from here. This doesn't look like an end point. All right, great. In that case, well, I think that's a wrap. I will catch you guys on the Twitter feed, and I'll have this posted as soon as possible.